you know, it's my treat.
Okay.
רגע, we'll start this. טוב. So I'm not done directing. I just stopped the... Okay. זהו. And now we start recording also here to the cloud. Okay.
Okay, good. So I'll bring up the sadhana. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, so again, we just do this glance meditation on the graduated path, this is what we're asking Tara to help us, to inspire us, and to especially put away inner or outer hindrances. So, for example, an outer hindrance would be the pandemic, which makes, borders closed, like I'm still waiting to come for Israel, to come to Israel. So then that would be an outer hindrance, although thanks to the Zoom, we can still practice. It's not exactly the same thing, but it's better than nothing. And an inner hindrance would be like we have aversion, rejection, get sick or depressed, or, and it's just, everything is just like that. That would be an inner hindrance. So we asked her to liberate us from inner and outer hindrances. Okay. So I take refuge in the Holy Guru, the essence of all Buddhas, the original grantor of all holy teachings and Lord of all supreme beings. Please, O Guru Buddhas, enable me to unify my mind with the Dharma, to succeed in practicing Dharma for receiving the graduated path. May nothing prevent my receiving this path, be it outer or inner. Then please bless me to take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha with all my heart, and to practice virtue and abandon non-virtue by realizing that I have received the perfect human rebirth, which is highly meaningful, for many reasons difficult to obtain, but perishable, transient, and fragile, decaying in the shortest second because of its changeable nature. Thus, my death is definite, but its actual time is most indefinite. Karma is most profound. Even in 1 hour, I create more negative karma, bringing rebirth in the lower suffering realms than positive. Even the smallest negative action has so many suffering results. And the ability of karma created to bring its results is never lost, even after more eons that the ordinary mind can imagine. And the sufferings of the 3 lower realms are very unimaginably unbearable. The middle scope, by practicing in this way, I might be reborn in the upper realms, but I will still have to experience unlimited samsaric suffering because of uncontrolled delusion and karma. Please bestow on me the ability to realize fully the evolution of samsara from uncontrolled rebirth to death and rebirth, so that I shall follow night and day the threefold training of the path, supreme conduct, supreme concentration, and supreme wisdom, the main method to release me from samsara. But as each sentient being has been my mom, and as all are in extreme suffering, please grant me blessings to bring success to all by renouncing the perfect self-happiness of nirvana and practicing the bodhisattva's deeds with bodhicitta, exchanging myself with others on the basis of the equanimity meditation. Thus I shall have no sorrow in experiencing the samsaric suffering of all other sentient beings for no matter how long, having trained my mind in the general path. And again, before we start with the Tantra section of this path, we need to feel this compassion, because otherwise Tantra is not working. We need to, quick, I have to become fully enlightened in order to liberate all sentient beings. It really has to be there. And it comes when especially we think about somebody that we love very much, but we feel very powerless. We don't know what to do, how to help them. Then you feel this compassion, and then you expand it, you extend it to all other sentient beings. And then when we have this urge, you know, really wanting to help all others, not just this one person, yeah, that has to include all, then we can engage in Tantra practice. Please grant me blessings to be able to follow the quick Vajrayana teachings by feeling sentient being sufferings, very unimaginably unbearable for even the shortest second of my own, and to attain the enlightened state of Arya Tara immediately at this very moment by keeping my ordinations and the orders of the Guru with greater and better care than anything else in my life, for the sole purpose of enlightening all sentient beings. So again, for the visualization, I let you do it. There's a message here also, I see. This is probably with the phonetics, with the Hebrew phonetics. Great, so next time we can chant it like this. So yeah, I was sitting with Nomi and I was kind of singing it, repeating it, singing it, and she was doing the phonetics in Hebrew, which was very helpful because then people could sing along in a much easier way. Okay, so I give you again the picture of Arya Tara, and of course you're not visualizing a picture, you're visualizing a living form, three-dimensional, made out of light with the capacity and the qualities of Arya Tara, and you feel totally safe and protected and inspired in that presence. And then you mix Tara with your Guru, very important. This is not some strange being that I will never meet, but it is my Guru. And the Guru is Tara, Tara is the Guru. So I let you 5 minutes to work with this. The mind gets distracted, just bring it back, look at the picture, close your eyes, or, you know, don't look at the picture and try to remember how she looks. This is how these images get engraved in our consciousness. And then they will arise spontaneously. Same way as you visualize your dad or your mom or your children, boom, the image is there. We don't need to go through all the different parts. And it's easy to hold because we're very familiar with it. Okay. And then thinking that Tara is in space in front, encompassing all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, or you can visualize them around her. When we take refuge, also again, Tara is the Guru is Tara, but then also why are we taking refuge? Because we want to attain enlightenment, to liberate all sentient beings. So you visualize them around you. At your left is your mom, the way you remember her or you know her, in case she has died. To your right is your dad from this life, the two people who have given you this body with which now you can practice. So maybe a short thank you would be appropriate here. And people that make us nervous or uncomfortable, or we make them nervous, we put in space in front. People that we like, friends and family, we put behind. And around us are all other mother sentient beings of this universe, with each of them we have a connection. Each of them has been kind to us, more than just once, because everybody exists since beginningless lifetimes. And so we want to repay that kindness. We think we're leading them in taking refuge, and then as a Buddha, we have the skillful means to guide them to full awakening. We have trust that the Buddha's, these methods are going to work in that direction, and we're totally fed up with being under the control of our negative emotions, to be reborn again and again and again and again, sometimes quite happy, sometimes quite sad, going up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. We have to be fed up with the causes, which is our own views, clinging to an inherent existent self, which then creates attachment to the things we label as good, although maybe they're not good, not good for our practice. Others we label bad. They would be perfect for our practice, but we run away from them. So we're fed up with all this. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly by the accumulation of merits of practicing generosity and so forth. May I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly by the accumulation of merits of practicing generosity and so forth. May I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sangye chöda soki chonam la chancho bardo dani kyapso chi dagi chinsoki pesonam gi chola penchi sangye drupasho. Then we have these wishes for all sentient beings, but we also take responsibility to bring about that state. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings never be separated from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from desire for friends and hatred for enemies. 7-limb practice. Reverently, I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind. I present every type of offering, actual and imagined. I declare all my negative actions accumulated since beginningless time, and rejoice in the merit of all holy and ordinary beings. Please remain until the end of cyclic existence and turn the wheel of Dharma for living beings. I dedicate my own merits and those of all others to the great enlightenment. Next, we offer a perfect universe and then give away everything that prevents us from being able to manifest this perfect universe. This ground anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, sun and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha field and offer it. May all living beings enjoy this pure land. The object of my attachment, aversion, and ignorance, friends, enemies, and strangers, my body, wealth, and enjoyments, without any sense of loss, I offer this collection. Please accept it with pleasure and bless me with freedom from the 3 poisons. Idam guru ranna mandalakam niryatayami. Then again, for the purification, make sure you sit comfortably so you can sit still and visualize all this happening. So first, Tara sends powerful, blissful white light from the Om at her brow chakra, which enters your brow chakra and completely fills you. You imagine that all your problems and sufferings and heaviness and grossness of your body are purified by this light. All the harm you have ever done to any living being with this body and all your infinite past bodies is also purified, eradicated completely, not one atom left. And this white light also kind of destroys or eliminates potentials we have that come from acting out of anger. So the same thing happening to us, but also especially to have a tendency to react with anger. All this also gets purified. And the body loses its solidity, it keeps its form, but it loses the solidity, the concreteness. The white light is filling it, and you're thinking that now your body has become the blissful light body, just like Tara's, nothing concrete and solid, indestructible, just like it will be when you attain the deity's body, the Sambhogakaya. And second, she sends red light from the A at her throat chakra, which purifies all the problems of your speech, inappropriate speech, useless speech, the inability to express yourself appropriately, and all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your speech of this life and in infinite past lives is totally purified, eradicated by the blissful red light, not one atom left. That also purifies tendencies and habits of attachment, desire, greed. Negativities leave your body through your upper doors in whatever form you find appropriate. So then the red light fills your body, bright red light, and you think that you're totally full of all the blissful, perfect, compassionate wisdom and appropriate speech of Lama Tara, such that whatever sound you utter is necessarily beneficial to any living being who hears it, all of which is your potential. Feel this powerful energy. Having the power of speech, whatever we say, only to benefit others. And also they believe us and trust us. That's the power of speech. Then Tara sends powerful beams of dark blue light from the blue hung at her heart chakra, which enters your heart chakra. Imagine that all the unhappiness of your mind, your confusion, arrogance, anger, jealousy, pride, resentment, hurt, anxiety, self-hate, whatever, is all totally purified, and that all your delusions, including the root ego grasping, which are the cause of your own suffering and why you harm others, is totally eradicated by this powerful blue light, not one atom left. So this time, the negativities don't go anywhere. It's just like switching on the light in a dark room. No matter how long the room was plunged in darkness, the moment you switch on the light, the darkness is gone. Because everything is just a product of our mind. Nothing exists inherently separate from the mind, out there in its own right, independent. So the body fills with this bright blue light, and you feel you're full of the blissful, omniscient, compassionate mind of Lama Tara, which is your potential. Then you visualize Tara sends powerful laser beams of yellow light from the yellow swa at your navel chakra that penetrates your navel chakra, filling you completely. It purifies totally all your hopelessness, powerlessness, inability to act effectively, all the blocked energy, and it also helps us with our tendencies of miserliness and arrogance. Then the body fills with this bright yellow light, and you think it fills you with power, the ability to act effortlessly, to do what needs to be done with wisdom and compassion for the benefit of all living beings. Then Tara sends powerful beams of green light from the green Ha at her secret chakra that penetrate your sexual chakra, filling you completely. Imagine that it totally purifies all your out of control, unhappy attachment energy, all the yearning, the desire which makes you miserable and unclear and unsatisfied. Not one atom is left. And it also helps us with jealousy and envy. It's also green is the color of abundance. So when we have enough, when we really understand that we have even more than enough, no need for jealousy, no need for envy. And we can just rejoice in the good things that other beings have, be it material, spiritual, financially, whatever. So the body is filled with this very bright green light. We feel that we're filled with this blissful green light penetrating our sexual chakra, filling us completely with transformed desire energy, complete bliss, satisfaction, contentment, fulfillment, happiness, and pleasure. But pleasure that doesn't lead to, I want more of this. Pleasure that leads to being satisfied, being grateful. Because pleasure is not the cause for attachment, but it can act as a basis. If you experience pleasure, it can act as a basis for gratitude. That somebody kind of produced these things that please your senses. Or it can produce attachment. So it cannot be the cause. If it's the cause, it can only cause one thing. But it's the basis or the condition to generate either gratitude and contentment or attachment. Same for unpleasant things. Somebody harms you, hurts you, is unpleasant with you. They're not the cause for your anger. They're just a condition. The cause is your habitual thinking that it's the other's fault. Grasping at an eye. But also being harmed we can generate patience or we generate anger. So the act cannot be the cause for the anger or the patience. It's just a condition. So then you visualize all the 5 lights coming from Tara's 5 chakras simultaneously. penetrating your 5 chakras, this time feeling that even the subtle stains of all delusions are totally eradicated, not one atom left. Feel very blissful, and you feel oneness with the energy of Mother Tara. So because now with these 5 lights, you kind of eliminate the obstacles or hindrances to omniscience or to wisdom. And slowly you can take on the features of Arya Tara, the clothes, the jewels, the way I sit. And in my heart is a moon disc. Top of it, the green silver thumb, around it, the mantra, Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Riso. Then this conviction, now I am Tara. I have eliminated, eradicated all hindrances to be a Buddha. So my Buddha nature has fully developed. And I manifest myself, in this case, in the form of green Arya Tara. Transparent, body made out of light. I mean, the qualities that all the Buddhas have. Universal compassion, universal wisdom, and universal skillful means to lead all beings to that same state. But then, because Tara knows we have problems believing in this, so she decides to kind of unify with us. So our Buddha nature gets nourished and strengthened. You visualize her coming to your crown. Again, it's not a statue, yeah? It's something living. The lotus and the moon disc she's sitting on absorbs into her. She melts into green light. And that small ball of green light through your crown chakra, through your central channel, absorbs into you and merges with your subtle consciousness, your clear light mind at your heart chakra. Then, because we want to do something with this being Tara, not just sitting there and feeling great. So you visualize, although we wouldn't have to visualize, just be aware that we're constantly surrounded by numerous sentient beings. You know, nobody is able to count them. We're just part of them. Like sand on the beach, you know, we're just one little sand corn. And we're constantly surrounded by others. Sand corns, and this is what makes a beach. I mean, we also need the sea or the ocean. Usually we call the ocean, and the sand or the grass or the rocks the beach. Or the desert, you know, one sand corn. I'm just one sand corn in the desert, but now I'm Tara sand corn. So all these other sand corns are not Tara yet. I will bring them to that state. So in order to do that, I need a lot of energy. So again, from the moon disc and from my heart, the seed syllable and the syllables of the mantra, light rays are going out, hooking back all the enlightened energy of all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. They absorb into the thumb and the mantra garland. They shine even brighter, fill my body. And as it is with light, because I don't have a concrete body, the light shines out very strong, very far in all directions like the sun, touching each and every sentient being and immediately turning them into the state of Arya Tara. Om Tare Tu Reso. Om Tare Tu Reso. Om Tare Tu Reso. Om Tare Tu tu resoa. Om tare 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 tu resoa. So just keep visualizing how the light is going out. And you can be very specific, same way as when you help a number of sentient beings, you know what you're doing. So you see what you're doing, you see what the light is doing, and to whom it goes, and so on. Or if you just are tired and you want to do it in a general way, you should think, okay, the light is going out, and just as soon as it touches the sentient beings, turns them into Arya Tara. But it's quite good to be specific because it keeps our concentration on what we're doing. You can also send the light to specific regions, like, for example, Afghanistan, or like the Mediterranean Sea, where there's like refugees floating, trying to find a place to live and to stay. Refugees over land, a lot of fear, a lot of uncertainty. Nobody wants them. They should all go to, it's okay for them to be safe, but please go to another country, not here. It's usually the attitude that they meet. Just imagine, wherever you go, you're not welcome. And you can't be independent because you have no money and no goods that you were able to take with you. You can think of all the hospitals, all the doctors, the nurses who are working very hard. You can think of all the world leaders so that, Tara gives them the energy and the certitude and the trust. It's good to be compassionate. It doesn't need to be aggressive. You see how their minds transform. You can send them to the slaughterhouses, to these animal farms. And you can also send them to the people that we think they're not suffering because they're rich, they're beautiful, they're happy, everything is going well for them. They will lose it at one point. So we also send them the light so that they understand that's better to share than just to spend it all on your own. Brings much more happiness, and you actually secure your future well-being and having abundantly if you do share what you have. Not just the rich people, everybody. Because all of us, we are rich. When we compare ourselves with the refugees, we're all very rich. So being rich is totally relative. So be very creative. You can think of other places and categories of beings where you want to send the light, like the hell beings, hungry ghosts, animals, humans, suras, asuras, the bardo beings, and the beings in the formless realm. So there's no reason or need to be bored. We can be very creative. Tare ture so hard, and we're surrounded by all these taras, and now the light is coming back from them, entering our bodies, filling us with bliss and wisdom and all her sublime qualities, which is our own potential. Tare ture so tare. Tare so. Tare ture so. And create strong link with the Guru. We do this verse here. Please, root Guru, glorious and precious, remain upon the lotus of my heart. Looking after me through your great kindness, grant me cities of body, speech, and mind. So then now you can actually open what Leora sent in the chat. It's the Hebrew phonetics for the Tara praises in Tibetan. And then maybe you find it easier to chant. And by chanting these praises to the 21 Taras, we should think, we're waking up our inner capacities of acting like all these 21 Taras together. So we nourish again all these capacities that we have to act appropriately in whatever way is needed. Peaceful, increasing, magnetizing, or controlling, or wrathful. But all these four activities come out of compassion and wisdom. Onche tuma pama jumala cha selo cha se juma nyuma pa Keni cheki lodan jama, chikten zonge shoki shagi, gesa chela wen chuma, chasendan kena vaku, kame gani shepe shama, kamajo paso panam, ki raptu cheva rapalma, chasen seno chunek, Pemi chani nam pagyama, chimpasa tu katu shiva, sapasa tancha, niyama, chasenda shinche petsu to, tayenam pagyavacha, Maru para chipato pege kwesheki tunshin tu tema chasentu tara omige dodan chodan kanga chikten no boshakine te lo parme pargu panuama chasenga chimela tampa lulana soanun Chumparo lanjisanam dana chintaki tunetama chasenche chitaram pekia para chukara chuchoma yaki yoki shakinente me patu pachintu chasenture chipachempo chuki paonam pachoma shuke shene done dense tavutam chumalusuma chasekansa suchanchake Chukonam pagyama maruchoki kologyam perangi akitsonam chuma chasera tugavachi pe ugena kichema pe shepara chitutara I tudan chingde wanutsema chasesa shina natsona dan chingupanimpan Ige hoengi pompatan chena pajuma chase davudumbu gen kempatan chisintu barma repechana pamele tapashintu ratsema chase kepeda mameta pavechevunane Yaki yoki kone korge jai puninam pachoma chase sashingala chaki ninginuki shagitu Choneden seige hoengi rimpatu ponam nigema chatsende mage mashiema nyanende sinchoniam so aom dayandandem pe di pachem pachom paniema chatsekune korakawe kailuninam pagema ige chukengangi kepe rimpahum ledrema Chase dure shanida pe ungina besabaniama rira mandara dambiche chikten zona yawaniama chase laitoina Vidata chenchana nama tarani chopeki ge tunamanu panisama chase laitona Lanamiam chikitema kunego chagavachi ki tsulamilamnya pasama chasani madava gepe cheni paravarapsa harani chatutarai shintuda parimnesama chasadeni sonankape shiventunayanande Tundaro lanu chitsonam chompanture rachonyama tavena kitapatidan Chasewani niso sashi. Then we do the absorption. Again, just make yourselves comfortable. And again, just an intellectual thought that nothing, whatever appears to me, it appears as real, but is not true. Just this very simple thought. Looks like real, but not true. It's so helpful, especially when you're in a tight spot and you can't move, kind of, there's nothing you can do anything. And it looks like really horrible and really terrible. You can say to yourself, okay, looks like real bad, real suffering, real terrible, but not true. Just looks like. So first you imagine that the entire universe dissolves into empty space. Replace the planet, the galaxy, this universe, and all the beings in it, which we cling to as so real, as existing from its own side, just dissolves into vast empty space, not one atom left. Then you dissolve your body, the basis of this I, the thing that we know most, identify with most. You imagine that from your feet up towards your heart chakra and from your crown down towards your heart chakra, it just dissolves. You feel that everything absorbs into your heart chakra. So if you feel the body, because sitting on the floor or on the chair, or if you have some pains, you can go, okay, just experience, just sensations. They don't belong to me. I don't want to own them. They have every right to be there. When we have pain, be it mental or physical, and if we can just say to ourselves, because we're in samsara, this belongs, so we open up and accept it, then the pain is still there, but the suffering is gone. And whatever you have sensation, it's the mind who experiences it, it's not the body. Without mind, you would not be able to experience it. So how can we say the body and the mind are separate? They're not the same thing, but they're not separate. They're connected. But it feels as if the body owns this pain or this sensation, but it's not. It's the mind experiencing it. And it goes through many, many, many filters until it arrives and we understand and we have to experience, and then it's totally distorted. So then you dissolve your thoughts, these elaborate conceptual constructions, all the thoughts of I, which have no basis in reality, which are completely made up, a hallucination as long as it possesses. All of it dissolves into empty space, not one atom left, zero. All there is left is your Lama Tara consciousness, very subtle, pure, as vast as space. And you think, I am the Dharmakaya, the I not separate. You become the Dharmakaya, not I have the Dharmakaya. We don't need an I to be the Dharmakaya. We don't need an inherently existing I, we need just a conventional I, the label for the Dharmakaya. We think this is who and what I am. You're completely blissful, this is your nature. You feel that you're in the nature of emptiness. And you try to stay in this vast, blissful space-like emptiness. Luminous, free, peaceful, spacious, unlimited, no beginning, no end, just space. But then, of course, we can stay there, a very long time, but it doesn't really, in a way, it helps others indirectly because we familiarize ourselves with our nature. We have to be careful that then when we do realize emptiness, we're not going into kind of nirvana without remainder by being attached to this blissful feeling. So we think, hey, but I want to act, I want to benefit others. So we go into non-abiding nirvana. And then we would manifest in the Sambhogakaya, in a light body of like Tara, or in a Nirmanakaya, manifesting as a human being, a dog, a bridge, a lamp, whatever. Whatever is beneficial. So in this case, you manifest again in your body, but knowing that your mind is not separate from Tara's mind. And we make strong prayers that with this body and speech, we will benefit whichever sentient beings we come into contact with, humans, animals, whatever. That is the purpose of my body, speech, mind, is to benefit others. So when you forget, and maybe, short moment go, oh, but I wanted to benefit. Don't get kind of, oh, I want to help others. Not like this. Just an open heart, whomever you meet. An open heart. May you be happy, may you be free from suffering. May you find what you're looking for. May you be peaceful, loving, strong, and healthy, and free from fear. These wishes spontaneously. Then we do the dedications through the merits of these virtuous actions. May I quickly attain the state of a Guru Buddha, lead all living beings without exception into that enlightened state. Where the precious body mind, not yet born, arise and grow, where that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. Just as the brave Manjushri and Samantabhadra too realize things as they are, also I dedicate all these merits in the best way that I may follow their perfect examples. So sometimes we don't really understand what this verse is all about, but it's very important because we don't know about emptiness, but Manjushri and Samantabhadra too, they do. They know about emptiness, so they do proper dedication. So we say, okay, I don't know about emptiness, but these two, they do. So when they dedicate, it's a perfect dedication. So therefore, I dedicate like them. And like this, my dedication also becomes perfect. So it's quite a powerful verse here. I dedicate all these roots of virtue with the dedication praised as the best, meaning with bodhicitta, by the victorious ones, thus gone of the 3 times, so that I might perform the noble bodhisattva's deeds. Then again, we think about His Holiness Dalai Lama, all our teachers that teach us this wonderful path, which leads us out of samsara, out of being under the control of our negative emotions, and where we are able to live our values spontaneously, uninterruptedly, and effortlessly. Isn't that wonderful? Good thing that we have these gurus. What would we do without them? Without these gurus, for us, maybe a Buddha statue in the garden that we find really nice, or maybe we put it even in the toilet, who knows? Because it just looks nice. But we would have no idea about what the Buddha really is, about the methods of the Buddha, and we would have no Sangha. So from the bottom of our heart, we have to kind of supplicate these gurus, please, please have a long, stable, healthy life, and may I fulfill your wishes spontaneously. You know, when we do Tara practice, we fulfill the wishes of His Holiness. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good, all powerful Chandresi Tenzin Gyatso. Please remain until samsara ends. Okay, thank you very much. So now it's lunch time. And if you want, and if you feel like it, then I'll see you again at 3 o'clock Israeli time. And that will be then the last session. And then at the end of that session, we do extensive dedication prayers. Okay? So please enjoy your lunch. Eat it like Tara. So, you know, whatever a Buddha's mind experiences, it produces bliss. So if your mind goes, oh, this is good, this is not so good, there's no bliss there. There's just attachment and aversion. But when we think, you know, so many beings have come about to produce this food, and we say, well, thank you very much, especially to Mother Earth. We talked about food waste today also. So, you know, and we think, may all beings have free access to nourishment, not so much food, but things that nourish us, be it spiritual or for the body. May nobody have to suffer. May nobody have to be killed. May nobody have to steal or create other negativities in order to get the nourishment that we need. May this food not create attachment, nor aversion, nor allergies, nor addictions. And then whatever is in your plate, it all becomes very delicious. So please enjoy, and maybe see you at 3 o'clock. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.